hearts and minds, for we all form a tapestry woven from one life, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one accord. I'm going to sing that one more time. We come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and minds, for we all form a tapestry woven from one life, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one accord.
So let us pray. And we honor that fact that we've hollowed out this sacred space to come together with one mind, the divine mind, one heart that reaches and opens and includes and expresses the Creator's love. And we come together knowing that we are sharing that one breath that connects us all. The gift given with such generosity our very lives. And so from Richard Rohr, when we pray, we use his words for God, because I just love that. It's just so universal. And he calls God the great love. So, oh, great love, we thank you for living and loving in and through us. May all that we do flow from your deep connection with us and with all beings. Listen to our heart's longing for the healing of the world as we open to the infinite field of compassion, wisdom, justice, peace, and radiant well-being that is always available. From this place of conscious oneness, we choose to live this day, this moment, in your flow. And so we offer these prayers, our prayers, in all the holy names of God. Amen. So just a couple of announcements. If you joined us and have never been part of Unity, we have a little book, a brochure, but you can also go to unity.org. And if you're wondering, we are in this beautiful grounds of Chautauqua, and we do a 10 Sunday and also a Wednesday night lecture. That one is only online this year. It will come back in person. But if you're wondering, now how do I get to that? You can join us either with Facebook Live or on Zoom so we can see and love your beautiful presence. And that is, our website is a combination of Unity's, which is unity.org, and Chautauqua's, which is chq.org. And it's unitychq.org. So you can see what's coming for the next weeks. And then we do a year round, once a month, year round, till we come back here for our 10 Sundays. So it is so great to have people in person, and all those, I'm just sending love to all of those that have been with us all year. So now I would like to invite up our minister of this week, and I've known her a while. I knew her in a difficult time in your life when you just lost her minister husband, who is now the angel, as you've written, is the angel, Therese. So Therese Lee, Reverend Therese Lee, and I just have to tell you something about her. This is interesting. You know where she's a minister of? This I'm a little jealous of, although I've been in Florida almost my whole life, which is no shy thing of wonderful blessings. She is in Hilton Head. So, but she is on the internet in a big, big way. And so I just want to say a couple things about her. You can read in detail because I call her the angel of unity, because we were praying in just a couple minutes ago, and I was saying that how she plants seeds in unity that bless lots and lots of people and lots of ministries all over. And that's her goal. And one of the words she said is her mission is to love out loud. And if you have a chance to spend a little time with her, you're going to see this amazing loving out loud. I got to spend yesterday as her car broke down and she was still loving. And we have some people in here that helped fix that yesterday and helped her get the connection she needed. So all is well. But she also says this at the bottom of her description. Besides her mission, she has an intention. And I loved, there were 3 little intentions, and they spoke to me so deeply. I want to share them with you. And she says, awakening awareness, her first one. Nurturing gratitude. Does that feel good? I just love that. And inspiring transformation. So I'm going to introduce her right now. And in a moment, we're going to do a song leading into what her sharing today. But I just wanted her to say just a couple words about what you could expect on Wednesday evening. So Therese.
Thanks. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Wednesday evening, we are going to practice looking at the world and how cray-cray it is out there, yes? How do we stay centered? What can we do to make sure that we're always coming from the divinity and the wholeness that each of us is, no matter what's happening outside of us? And we'll engage in some conversation as well as understand what our 5 unity principles are, so that we can be who we've come here to be, no matter what's happening outside of us.
So thank you, Therese. And I'm just let you know that Janine, our musician who we adore, just needed to do it from home today. She's got some other commitments. So you are hearing her voice. She's actually live and she's being recorded. So if you're wondering what she looks like, her sound is amazing. So we're so blessed. And so she's going to bless us as she leads us into today's lesson. Janine.
This is a song called One Clear Voice. The whole world is talking, drowning out my voice. How can I hear myself with all this noise? But all this confusion just disappears when I find a quiet place where I can hear one clear voice calling out for me to listen. One clear voice whispers words of wisdom. I close my eyes till I find searching for which path to take. Sometimes I'm so afraid to make mistakes. From somewhere inside me, stronger than my fears, just like the sound of music to my ears, I hear one clear voice calling out for me to listen. One clear voice whispers words of wisdom. I close my eyes till I find what I've been missing. If I'm very still, I will hear one clear voice calling out for me to listen. One clear voice whispers words of wisdom. I close my eyes till I find what I've been missing. If I'm very still, I will hear one clear voice.
Thank you, Janine. We could play that song again and then go home. What do you think? So Janine knew me when I was a wannabe, before I was a minister, and I had gotten my calling, but I didn't know, how you get from there to there, right? And so thank you so much, Janine, for when we spoke this week, she's like, well, what are you going to talk about? I'm like, you write some music and I'll write a talk around it. So here we go. Choices. Listen. The word silent and the word listen have the same letters in it. SILENT, LISTEN. In the world, it's so busy, isn't it? I have a busy mind. It's just so creative and exciting and things like that. And if we can remember as we get still inside, whatever that means, it might mean that you're listening to rock music if you get still inside. Whatever it is, figure it out and go there often. Go there often. Don't close your eyes when you're driving, please, when you're meditating and things like that. When I do Zoom calls while I'm driving, I have to say I can't really participate because I'm paying attention to the road. So the one voice that Barbara talked about as we prayed in with Richard Rohr, who is one of my, if I could have a boyfriend, he would be it. Probably a little inappropriate, but I would tell him, is it too soon to tell you I love you? He is so on purpose in my life. I was raised Catholic. I found Unity when I was about 28, and I'm going to be way older than that next week. So it's been a life that has given me the skills to deal with what has happened. And listening to Janine's voice I get verklempt. Because she's lived through so many of these last 20 years with me, when I got to really figure out, these are the lessons that I've learned, or the skills that I'm teaching or being taught. Now, Therese, feed on your faith and do it. So today, what I know is I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Barbara, for inviting me. She said, can you come? I said, yes. I didn't even ask the dates. I didn't even ask my own board. I'm like, of course. So here I are. And it's so excited. Unity is my life. I love it. It's a way of being. And we're a little different. What I know, though, is that we are all born from love. God is love, as you said. So that is the truth. Richard Rohr says that in his book, The Universal Christ. And if we can remember that, then I can only look at each of you as love. Well, then how can I hate? Right? So this week, what we're talking about here is how do you live in a world that's a little bit different than what you thought it might be at whatever age we are, right? So my grandson, one of my oldest grandsons is 14, and he was so worried about me getting the vaccination. I said, you're 14, you go play, Nana will get her shot. So I didn't want him to be over involved in his anxiety of, he didn't want a dead Nana because he already had a dead Grandpa Lee. So life happens and it affects us, and we have to deal with our feelings so that we can get through them and then go on to be love living in this world. And those attributes that you were talking about, those are my core values: awakening awareness, nurturing gratitude, and inspiring transformation. So if I don't get up every day and do those things at the end of the night when I'm doing my review, as I'm, trying to go to sleep with a busy mind, wait a minute, tomorrow I need to be more on purpose about those things. So the spiritual journey involves love, but somewhere along the way, fear is something that we're either taught or we experience. So I'm going to unpack that a little bit for us today. It is not something that we're born with. It is not of God. It is of life and humanity. And, I think Jesus was our way shower, showing us how to always balance those things. I'm going to be human. Oops, I'm having a divinity moment. Oops, there comes my humanity. And my personality comes out. I'm a fifth child of 11. So it's big. And I have to remember, woo, Therese, bring it down and come from your divinity. So we're going to talk about, can we accept, surrender, so we can experience peace, no matter what's happening outside of us. What now? As opposed to, now what? We go, what now? So if we stay in the question of what, then it allows our shoulders to lower, the tongue comes off the roof of your mouth, yes, and we're able to wait in the silence to answer the question. Albert Einstein calls that living in the question the holy curiosity. And I love it. I love that, to think, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going to happen today. So outside the will of God is nothing I want. Inside the will of God, there is no thing I fear. And that's by the author whose name is Tozar, T-O-Z-A-R. So if we remember everything is of God, then everything's for us. It really helps us shift our attitude to one of gratitude. And heart math, which is a great science of spirituality and science together, tells us we can't be unhappy and grateful at the same time. So I might have tears running down my face, and I say to myself, Therese, get yourself back to gratitude. Still may be crying, or whatever the feeling might be, like yesterday with the car, brand new car, that decided it was going to act up and test my peace. Because of course, whether you know this or not, every time before Sunday, I will be tested some way about what it is I'm speaking about, just to see, am I being authentic and real? So here's a little story, a little giggle. If you can start the day without caffeine, and if you can always be cheerful, ignoring your aches and pains, if you can rest without complaining, no matter how it is, there are troubles around you. If you can eat the same food every single day and be grateful for it. If you can understand when your loved ones are just too busy. If you can take criticism and blame without resentment. If you can conquer tension without medical help. If you can relax without alcohol. If you can sleep without the aid of drugs. You are probably the family dog. Barbara has her dog with her this summer, and I thought, it's so true, isn't it? So we have wonderful teachings in Unity. They're metaphysically based. We are a Bible-based movement. We were never supposed to be a church. We were just supposed to be a complementary ease and grace that goes with the other mainline religions back in the 1800s. And yet it kept moving forward and forward and forward, because once we know truth, right? Then what happens? We only want more of it. Right? Once we experience God in everything, then we see God in everything, no matter what's happening outside of us. So we have self-knowledge, capital S self. Difference from the ego self, which would be the small s, right? We all know what that is when we're being ego-driven versus God-led, yes? And then we have a conscious spiritual growth that's going to continue to happen each time we are on purpose to be who we've come here to be. And it allows us then each time we take a moment in the silence to hear the voice, to get back to our innate wholeness, to get back to center. Because life does happen. I was rattled about my car. And yet I had to say, wait a minute, it's a car. I got here, I drove over 1,000 miles. I'm safe. I've got a wonderful house manager, Jack, who's actually here today, and people helping. People said, I'll jump your car. I said, oh no, I'm gonna call Honda Roadside Care because I got a warranty. I made the right decision. So what I want us to have as our affirmation today, 10 two little words. If it is to be, it is up to me. So let's say it together. If it is to be, it is up to me. Now with our playground voices, please. If it is to be, it is up to me. Now, when I've said that before, I've had people come up to me and say, oh, Therese, it's so not about us, it's about God. Well, where do you think God is? Here's the secret. If you don't know where God is, this is what I was told by one of my mentors who was 99 when she passed. You open your shirt, hello, God, as close as your breath. So that's what I teach my grandbabies. They're like, Nana, I had a talk with God this morning and this is what I did. Imagine if you learned that when you were a kid, as close as your breath. I know my life would be different. So we get to start today where we are, drawing forth our strengths, as Janine wrote about the wisdom and the tapestry that happens when we realize we don't need anything outside of us to be who we've come here to be. We get to look within, and I have a favorite saying that says, we go within or we go without. So if you don't go within, then you may go without love, peace, and all of those, but you also may go without to alcohol or other things that don't necessarily serve us, drugs, sex, whatever it all is, that keeps us busy from going within. Parker Palmer has a great retreat center, and he invites us to always live in the question as well, as Byron Katie does. So those are two of the people that help me stay in the question. His question is this: is the life you are living the same life that wants to live in you? I'll read it again. Is the life you are currently living the life that wants to live in you? And Parker Palmer suggests, before you tell your life, who's the boss of themselves? Right? I often think I'm in charge. Well, with a laugh, right? So before you tell your life what you intend to do, listen, go within and hear what it intends for you to do, for you to be. How do you show up at that family reunion or wherever it is? If it's going to rain, is it going to ruin your day today? I hope not, because rain means we don't have to water our flowers later. So how do we do this? We listen, we get centered, we take meditation classes. You're gonna watch us on Zoom Wednesday nights. This week, you're gonna figure out how to be on Zoom so you can see Barbara and me doing this class. Whatever it is, take a walk, take a run, singly, solitarily. We've had to do that, haven't we, this last year with COVID? And then now we can be coming back in groups. In Unity, we have 5 principles. And what I love about Unity is it's so practical. It's called practical Christianity. So how do you live like Jesus lived? We know he died, but let's focus on how he lived and how it was that he was a little bit of he had a little bit of audacity, didn't he? Don't you think? I think so. He's of course my real mentor. Yeah. How can I be like that? So the 5 principles, they're long in definitions, but they go like this: God is, we are, we think, we pray, we live. And when we make them personal, God is, I am, I think, therefore I create. I pray and I act. So I'm a demonstration then of that. And that's how we teach it to the kids, because they can remember simple things. Right? And simple doesn't necessarily mean dumbing down. It means practical ways of living in a world that seems to change by the day and the hour sometimes. So we get to pay attention to our thoughts. There is an Aramaic word that's also, it comes from the Kabbalah tradition, abracadabra. How many used that when they were kids, hoping they could get rid of one of their brothers or sisters, right? Yeah, or whatever was happening. So abracadabra, I will create, cadabra, as I speak. I will create as I speak. Now, we didn't know them when we were kids, did we? But boy, we used it. And I actually had a little wand that had a star at the top because I'm the princess of quite a lot. And I would use that on my brothers and sisters to make them go away or give me whatever it was that I needed from them. So it's just a reminder again that so many words are packed with ways to show us how to live. Otherwise, what happens if we don't stay centered each day? If we don't start from that center? For me, when I'm not mindful, when I'm not allowing myself to be spirit-led, when I think I'm in charge and I haven't laughed about it yet, then what happens is fear creeps in. So there's two definitions of fear that you might have heard from this vantage point. False evidence appearing real, feeling edgy and really unsure. So, of course, I got to experience that yesterday when my car just decided not to work. And it was bells and whistles were going off and all of this thing. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm here. I don't live here. I've got to drive next. You know, and your mind goes crazy and starts going and making stuff up, right? You have to be careful how you hear that stuff word. Then I had to remember, wait a minute, all these kind people are helping me. I'm a true student. Therese, get it back together, get centered. Byron Katie says, turn it around. Okay. So maybe my car battery dying means Therese needs to recharge her batteries. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I got to replace the fear with curiosity. When will the tow truck come? From what state and city will it come from? How competent is the Honda warranty department? You know, all of those things. So I've got to shift so I could be peaceful and present to the situation. I'm in Chautauqua. Hello, right? So the Bible has a phrase 365 times that says, do not be afraid. How many days are there in a year? 365. So the Bible, we use it in Unity as a roadmap to the evolution of our consciousness. From the Hebrew Bible through then into the New Testament, how is it that we can learn from what we've had, take us to develop us into being spirit-led here, so we can live then into the greatness that each of us has come here to be, to do better things, yes, than what Jesus said, you will do as I do and greater things. I always paraphrase the Bible, so don't quote me as being a scholar. We have choices. Janine's song said that. So do we realize that? Do we get to say, oh, I get to have a choice? Do we respond or do we react when things happen? So yesterday I had to practice my breathing so I didn't kick the tires, which wouldn't have helped, right? I mean, or swear at the car. Yes, I swear, I'm a minister. And then I apologize and then I, put a quarter in the jar, right? So, or do you react? So I chose not to react yesterday. I knew who I could call and I waited. The guy came, he charged it, and here we go. So back to the affirmation. If it is to be, it's up to me. Was it going to ruin my day? No. So then I went to the house meeting, right? Because I'm staying in the ecumenical house. And the presentation starting, and I opened my Sprite bottle and it goes all over. Everybody's looking like, who is this girl with sparkles in her hair that's causing a scene? So I just said, hi, I'm Therese, and I'll be quiet now. We get to choose to move from anger, from doubt, from sadness, from anxiousness. Those are all feelings. I am a big proponent of feeling what you feel. then figure out, oh, I don't need to, I don't need to buy a condominium here, right? And that's the 23rd Psalm says, as we walk through the shadow in the valley of death. It doesn't say build a condo, y'all. It says keep walking, keep moving. And that's what Unity's practicality is about. So tomorrow I get to go to the Lakewood Honda place and see curiously, how are they going to fix whatever it is so that I can drive next week to Missouri? So if I go in with a state of curiosity and don't have a mat on, I'm going to get some service, aren't I? So this is how every day can be. Choose your thoughts and then figure out how to live from them so that it can be a great day. There's another example for those of you who dance, and I'm not really a great dancer. However, the optimist is the one who figures out that taking a step forward and back is not about dealing with disaster. It's about experiencing the cha-cha. We've all done that, don't we? Every day there's cha-chas. So we can choose then to say, oh, wait, I'm having a fearful moment. I need to change my mind. So here's two different definitions for that. Feeling excited and ready. Might be with some trepidation, right? And your knees might be knocking, but feeling excited and ready. Facing everything and rise. Again, same situation. We get to decide how we will live through it and as it. I think that God thoughts are the highest thoughts we can have. They help me to live. And my favorite one is this: God and I are one. Most people do this, like, oh, God and I are like this. Well, this creates a separation. So God and I are one. So when I say goodbye to my grandchildren, I do this and they do this. Of course, my kids don't know what they're talking about. It doesn't matter because we have Nana language. But they know, see you soon, Nana, we're one. And it makes a difference. I don't have to bring God into it. I can just do this and they know that we are connected, right? So how many of you know in your heart of hearts that you are an incarnation physically here to be God expressing? Raise your hands if you're bold. It's true. How else does God get around earth? In trees, yes. Flowers, rocks, hurricanes, tornadoes, yes. However, we are the ones who have the voices. We are the ones that have cute shoes and walk around. We are the ones who can flip our hair and know I'm here on purpose and I'm here to make a difference and I'm here to be expressing the very energy that was in the opening prayer, that one presence, one power, the great love that we call God. Moving forward with feet on our faith, manifesting. So we get to be the I am that we've come here to be. And here's my last little definition for that. Intention, attention equals manifestation. I am. I for intention, A for attention, M equals manifestation. So where your mind is what life is going to give you. And then when you get something that maybe you didn't realize you were manifesting, you get to sit with it and respond because you breathed first instead of reacting. Matthew tells us this in chapter 8, verse 13, as you have believed, so it be done to you. He told that to the Roman centurion. I bet you that guy had a way different day, right? Wait a minute, I'm in charge of what happens around me? Yeah, maybe not around me, but I get to choose my attitude towards it and how it is I'm going to say, oh, wait a minute. I get to think about this differently. So in Unity, we ask you to think. We'll give you options on how it is you might think. We'll never tell you what to think. I'm not in charge. Who's in charge? Hello, God, right? So think, rethink it, question it, understand, like, why is this happening? And then remember, I'm not building the condo as I walk through this valley. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to breathe. And do we have challenges? Yes. In this humanity part of our lives, we get to balance it. And we get to breathe. So I'm wondering, who remembers our affirmation? Let's say it together. If it is to be, it is up to me. So that could almost be a capital M me, which means I'm coming from my divine self, being spirit-led, having my time with God first, and then I get to face everything and rise. So I'm going to invite us now to close our outer eyes as you're comfortable and take a moment as we go into a time of meditation. When we take a moment to breathe and move, as my friend Anne says, from our head to our heart, where we meet the God of our own understanding. Deep inside, we use our breath as a tool. And Janine's going to take us into a song.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love, there is love. In the stillness of this moment, there is love, there is love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love, sweet love, yes, sweet love. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace, I am peace. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace, I am peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I am peace, I am love, I am peace, I am love.
You are peace. You are love. Rest right here and right now. Feel the trust in front of you and behind you and to your left and to your right. The very presence of God. And know, as we go into a few moments of silence, rest and know in the silence. Each of you is wondrously made. Your presence matters. Each of you here to be who you've come here to be. Nurturing gratitude, awakening awareness. Being you is the very presence of God. You bless us.
Stillness of this moment, I am
And we are blessed.
peace. I am peace. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace. I am peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I am peace.
And so it is that we affirm this to be true. We pray this in the name and after the nature and under the authority of the living, loving presence that is you and that is me. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, I feel so fed by this day. And this is our opportunity to share our gifts. And as we do, I just want to thank all the people that online have been giving from our website, unitychq.org, or they've been sending in their gifts all year. So this has just made such a difference to allow us to create a ministry that's not only here in person, but that crosses many states. So as you take your gift, would you hold it with that intention that this gift has been first given to you to move in and through you? That this Christ of your being has offered you the bounty of the earth, and you, as honoring that bounty, are passing some on to spread this good news. And so we have an affirmation that we say as we hold our gifts. We say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Thank you, God.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And so I invite you, if you want to hear this again, because I surely do, I want to hear Therese's words and just own them in a deeper way. And this Wednesday night as well, I look so forward to that. And you can go on our website. And by the way, we have a YouTube channel, and that will be loaded in about a day, what Therese says, about a day after anything we do. And the couple weeks, maybe you missed our first couple weeks, they're all there at our website. So I invite you to check that out and to spread it out, to give the gift of this truth to the fellow people in your life. So we are now going to say at Unity, we have we have the Unity Prayer of Protection. And just to remind, many of you have heard me say this so many times before, it lives on the moon. That Buzz Aldrin took this, and it was written during World War II for the safety of all those involved. So we say it together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being online. And we will see you Wednesday night at 6:30. So blessings.